Hey athletes, what's going on? Today we've got another follow along mobility routine. Today is also going to be a bit more of a focus on stability. It's going to be a very active, dynamic workout. We're going to be getting some mobility and some stability. Also, I've got my newborn in the swing over there, so if this video ends up getting really chopped up, you know why. All you're going to need today though is going to be yoga mat and a chair. That's basically all that you're going to need. And let's get to it, okay? I'm gonna push my chair out of the way and we're gonna get started with feet together squats. So what we're gonna do here, exactly what it sounds like. My feet are gonna come right together. If you can't quite do it feet right together, you can go slightly apart. But basically what this is gonna do in these squats is it's gonna cause you to have work into some really good ankle mobility. So I'm gonna let my feet stay flat on the ground and my knees come as far forward as I can. And then back up tall. Hands can come forward for balance. Knees are gonna come forward for that ankle mobility and just to be able to sit as far down as possible. And we're gonna do 15 reps of this. That was 4. We're gonna keep on going here. Right to 15 reps. This is number 8. Sink as far down as you can on this one. Two more. Okay, 15 squats with the feet together. From there, we're going to come down on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to get right into our 90-90 position, which we've done several times before. I'm looking for front knee at 90 degrees, back knee at 90 degrees. Your back thigh should be parallel with your front calf, all right? From there, we're going to do the rollovers, which we've done before, which is just going to be lifting the knee off and switching over to the other side. But the challenge today is going to be to try to do this without your hands. So we're going to try to stay upright without your hands. Maybe if you want to put your hands down on the ground for the first couple of reps, you can. But then from there, we're going to try it without hands. So peel the back knee off as far as you can and then rotate over to the other side. Make sure that on the other side, you're in the same 90-90 position where you're parallel with your back calf, or sorry, your back thigh and your front calf. We're going to do this 10 rotations. So it'll be like you're looking towards either side 5 times. Get that full rotation over. So I'm coming on over and then I bring my belly button to face that other side. That's number 4. You're probably also going to notice that you end up shifting on the ground forward with these. That's normal, that's fine. Unfortunately, that means you're not going to stay on your yoga mat. I think I'm going to be doing these right outside of the frame. It's number 6 right there. This is 7. Two more here. Last one, finish it off, full rotation. And that's our 90-90s. Trying to do those without the hands. From there, we're gonna get into what's called a quadruped position. A quadruped position is just hands and knees. So I want the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. From there, we're gonna do what we're gonna call leg sweeps. What's gonna happen, it's gonna look a little bit like your hip cars, but we're gonna bring the leg out straight. We're gonna bring it up and around, and we're gonna see how far over we can get to touch the ground. Ideally, you want to touch the ground with your heel, and you want it to be at or further than your hands. Okay, we're gonna do these nice and controlled 10 times. Up and over, touch the heel, at or further than your hands. That's number 2. Working a lot on your hip abduction These are pretty tough. I'm already sweating. We want good control, so it's not just about using momentum to get that foot over, but trying to control that whole way over. Looking for 2 more now. Last one. Perfect. Now we're gonna try the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna rotate over. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this other leg. Back and over. That's halfway, 5 more. Last 2, nice and controlled. Awesome, my hips are going. That is your quadruped leg sweeps, that's what we're calling those. Okay, next is gonna be one that we've done before. It's the hip airplanes, and I'm gonna suggest that you do it with the chair at first, like we've been doing, and then we can progress from there to try to do it without the chair. So let's talk again about the hip airplane. So we're gonna get started on one leg, soft bend of the knee, hinge the hips backwards, and then think about what direction my hips are facing. Right now they're down. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to open them up as far as you possibly can. And then you're gonna come back down, and then you can even go a little bit past straight down. So I'm gonna come all the way down this way, and then back open up again. Okay, we're gonna do these 10 times, and then we're gonna switch sides. Maybe we'll try 5 or so with the chair, and then we can try a couple without the chair. But that's very tough on balance. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how my balance is doing today. Large as you can, controlling down. It's 3. 4. 5. Let's see if I can do a couple without the chair here. Set up the same exact way. Maybe we won't get quite as much range of motion, but we're going to see what we can do. Open and close. Nice to have the wall right next to me. Two more. This is 9. And that's 10. All right, then we're gonna switch over to the other side, same exact thing, just on the other leg. So from here, set up the exact same way, hinging backwards, pointing the hips, opening the hips as far as I can, closing them a little bit past the straight down point. So number 4. That's 5. See if we can do the same thing. We're gonna try to get rid of the chair. See what we can do here. Hinging at the hips, opening up. Six. 7. Oh, there we go. Let's get 2 more. Last one. Sweet, not too bad. From there, that's the hip airplanes. We're gonna move on. I can definitely feel my hips going. Hopefully you can too. Next, what we're gonna do is the world's greatest stretch. If you're one of my athletes, you've probably seen this one before. This is how this is gonna look. We're gonna take a big step forward. Both hands are gonna come down inside of that front foot. Back leg's gonna stay straight. Then you're gonna take your inside hand, you're gonna open up so that you're looking at your front leg as big as you can here. Now you're gonna take that elbow, bring it down towards the ground. If you can touch the ground, awesome. If not, just kind of relax into it. You don't need to force it. Then we're gonna come back into a straight front leg and bring that toe up. Stand up tall, that's 1 rep. We're gonna alternate sides until we get to 10 reps. Big step, hands down inside, open up, looking at your front leg. Bringing that elbow down towards the ground. Hands on both sides of the leg, straighten the leg, bring up the front toe. That's 2 reps. We're gonna keep on going. Once you get used to this, you can kind of keep a pretty good flow through it. Down and turning, and then down and back up again. That's 4. 5. Hopefully if you're like me, what you're noticing is that each repetition, you're noticing yourself getting a little bit further into each stretch. This one's number 8 here. One more on each side. Last one. Awesome, that is the world's greatest stretch. From there, what we're gonna get into is a bit of a tricky one to get used to at first, but it's a fun one once you get used to it. We've got 3 more exercises before we get into some core, and these 3 are a little bit more focused on the upper body, a lot of shoulders in these next 3, okay? What's gonna happen, the yoga mat's not gonna be a huge deal on this one because we're gonna be moving around quite a bit, but we're gonna get seated on your butt. Hands gonna come behind you, fingers pointing backwards to get started. Then you're gonna come up into a bridge. So feet down, hips up. Then what's gonna happen is hands are gonna come up. Hands are gonna come up as high as you can. And then what's gonna happen, my left arm is up, so my right leg is gonna come through, and I'm gonna rotate down. This one, again, I might be covering some ground, and then we'll see if I can stay in the screen or not. So now I'm down. Now I'm going to bring my left foot through to the other side, rotating up. Hips come up, hand reaches to the sky. Back down, foot comes back through, back to the other side. Hips come up, hand comes up. We're going to do 10 of these. I've lost count, but I think that's about 7, 8. We'll do 2 more. Last one here. And then we'll sit down. Awesome. So those we are calling single arm bridge rotations, okay? Because you're doing the bridge, coming to the single arm, and then rotating over to the other side. Next one, we're gonna do some yoga. We're gonna go downward dog into an upward dog, and we're just gonna come in and out of it 10 times. So this is where it's basically a lot of push-ups, so the shoulders are really gonna come into play. You can modify by using a lot of knee push-ups if that helps. But your downward dog is where we'll start. So we're gonna go hands beneath the shoulders, toes come down, and then your hips are gonna come way up, and you're gonna reach your nose towards your toes. Feel the stretch in the back of the leg. Then to come into your upward dog, you're gonna come head down, hips down, and then the head's gonna come up into this upward dog. Then basically you're just gonna reverse this back and forth 10 times. So that was one. Got a stretch here in the upper body as well, in the lats. And then back into your upward dog. That was 2. Four. Like I said, if you want to modify it, all you can do here is just bring your knees down and then come into your upward dog. And then the same thing, keep your knees down and then come back and then bring your hips up into the air. It can be a simple way to modify this into an easier variation. That was 6 right there. Seven. 8. 9. 10. That is your downward dog into an upward dog. I am sweating. From there, your last one before we get into our core. This one has some core as well, but what we're really focusing on is the shoulder stability in this next one. We're gonna call them shoulder taps. What's gonna happen, you're gonna come into a top of a push-up position. This one can also be modified by going incline. So if in the top of a push-up position on the flat ground, if this is too tough, then you can put your hands on top of a table, top of a couch. Incline in that way will make it a little bit of an easier exercise. You're gonna come top of a push-up, hands are gonna be beneath your shoulders, feet are gonna come a little bit wider. From here, think about stable hips and not wobbling. What's gonna happen, you can actually bring your hands, slightly inside your shoulders. We're gonna tap a shoulder and come back down. Tap a shoulder, come back down. When you have the one hand into the ground, push it into the ground. So you're gonna kind of push yourself away each time, and doing that without extensive wobbling in the hips, all right? We just did 4, we're gonna go to 20. It's 10, 11, 20. Awesome. That is all of your mobility and stability. A lot of stability in today's one. We're gonna get into the core. Take note in your program how many rounds you're doing of this. I'm just gonna take you through 1 round of the core, and then the rest is on you, all right? This first one is a bear position bird dog. Your bear position is hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. You're gonna lift your knees just off the ground. And then we're gonna try bird dogs. This is a tough exercise, but you're gonna try to keep your knees relatively low. Reach your opposite hand to leg out, and then back together. We're gonna go for 8 reps. Opposite hand to leg, doing your best to stay stable. Pause for just a second at the top of each rep. Two more. That's your bear position bird dog. Take note again that the hips are gonna stay stable and that your knees don't come way off of the ground. We just want a few inches off the ground. Your next exercise, I'm gonna grab a towel. You don't need a towel if you have socks or just something that you can slide your feet on, okay? So I'm gonna put my feet on the towel. All right, elbows are gonna come on the mat. I'm gonna put 45 seconds on the clock. This is what's called a body saw. A body saw is basically a dynamic plank. We're gonna plank, but we're gonna move a little bit. So my feet are on this towel, my elbows are on this mat, 45 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna push myself back and pull myself up. You don't need a lot of motion, but some motion, and that's gonna just be a simple progression to your regular plank. As always in these planks, we want tight core so that your low back doesn't cave in. Your hips being a little bit higher than your shoulders is a good position to be in. And we're just gonna move back and forth. The further you move out, the harder that plank's gonna be. So simple progression is just, you can start with smaller pushes, and then you can start to feel it out. How far can you push yourself, but still keeping good position? That was 45 seconds, flew by because I'm talking the whole time. Your last one here is going to be, we're gonna call these alternating toe touches. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna be on my back, and then on my back, what's gonna happen, two different variations you can do. The easier version is you're gonna keep your knees bent at 90, and then we're gonna touch your opposite hand to your opposite ankle. Okay, so it'd be more like ankle touches rather than toe touches. The progressed version, if you feel like you're ready for it, is your legs are gonna come out straight, and then you're gonna come up to touch your opposite toe at the top. Okay, we're gonna go for 12 reps. 2, 3, 4. 11 and 12. All right, team, that is your mobility, stability, and core workout this time. Again, and as always, if you have questions, reach out to me. Be happy to hear from you. We'll see you guys in the next one.